So yeah, the next topic I'd want to touch on is just marriage in general, cause why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
You don't know. No, it's cool. We can talk about marriage and divorce, as a matter of fact.
Listen, I chose you because you're a good example to the current society and everything. Don't twist this all around because I don't have the questions for
divorce.
Okay, hold on. Let's just talk about it. How important is marriage to you? You seem like a young mom, and I see a lot of self-drive in you, and of course I just see how you love your kid as well, like on Instagram. Why do you have that cheeky smile on your face?
Because it's true.
Yeah, which is true.
Yeah,
And I appreciate and salute everybody who I have. Like, I just see pushing that agenda, and they have like that theme in their life and everything. So how important is like just marriage to you in general, if you think about it?
You mean the relationship?
Does it add value to you as a person, or do you think it strains you? I mean, I'd want to know. I'm not married. I'd want to know. Before I jump into that ocean, I'd want to know.
You see, it's funny because marriage to me at this time of my life is not as important as it used to be because I'm separated. And you didn't know
Sips
that.
tea.
It's a concept. Because we just met, you didn't know. So I
didn't know. And I have all my questions how is marriage a nice sanction, and
you got the wrong person.
Give me the tip for
you want hope. I'm gonna destroy every bit of hope that you
come on, man, come on.
So
okay, yeah, tell me just what were you saying before I interrupted with
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not the right person to talk to when it comes to happy marriage.
Okay.
No,
is it just hard? Is it hard? Is it something that's hard because of the current society, day and age?
Yeah. I think if you compare our generation to our parents' generation, there's a clear change of behavior. We are the Tinder generation. When we're not happy, we just swipe. We always think that the grass is greener somewhere else. We want to explore. We don't want long-term relationship, but we also want company. It's complicated. We grew up in like a confused society where we want it all, but at the same time we don't know what we want, like I was telling you before.
Yeah.
And we also want to try it all, and that's why people get married like later than what our parents used to do.
Yeah,
right?
They used to get it done like super early.
Yeah, because that's how it used to be, and now we have other priorities. We want to have a career as women, but we also want to have kids, but the clock is ticking. It's all very confusing. So I would say marriage for me was a very religious thing, and a lot of my big decisions in life are related to religion. Religion is a big part of my life. So I can't really talk for everyone. I can talk on a Muslim young woman perspective at the time. But I would say that everyone is different. But my advice, and the advice that I give to all my friends who are not married, is just take your time.
Don't be in a rush.
Yeah, don't rush things. Just get to know the person. And even if you're Muslim, there are ways, and also for Christians who are very religious, there are ways of doing things the right way, but still getting to know the person you're getting married to. Ask a lot of questions, and like important questions, not just like what's your favorite food or what's your favorite movies. More like, how many kids do you want? How religious are you? How religious do you think you're going to be in 5 years? How do you want to evolve as a person? Are you more of a materialistic person, or do you want a simple life? Do you want a career? Are you career focused? These are like important life matters that we don't think about when we meet someone and we're excited.
You want to tell me I have to have all these questions ready when I'm starting to date someone? You don't think I'll scare them away?
Okay, now the dating thing, don't even, I don't know. Dating, that's why I say on a religious perspective.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's not really such thing as dating if you are practicing
marriage.
Yeah. The religion, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The way I did it, I didn't date when I got married. That's
no?
why, no. That's why I say on that perspective where
Okay, how does that work though? If you don't,
you talk to the person,
Mhm.
but you don't go on dates. You just talk.
So you don't get to know them like. Oh, that's why you're saying like you don't really get to know
That's why you ask
like
the
what's going on
questions,
in their head and all these things that maybe they're
that you won't
expecting.
know anyway, even if you were dating them.
What do you mean?
You don't know what's going on in someone's head when you're dating them.
No, but maybe after like a month or two, you'd start knowing like, this is their character, this is how they behave, this is what, after like a month, they can't really pretend any longer.
I feel like you would get to know someone better if you sat down and talked to them instead of going on dates. So it's kind of like dates, but it's more like talking than doing things,
interrogate them like on a podcast thing, like
more like
how many kids do you want?
A Sunday kind of way.
yeah.
How many kids?
That's tricky because I mean, I don't know, and it's funny enough because even in my questions, I had. Let me just see if I have it here.
Yeah.
Okay, just look at this question.
Oh.
And then this I just had it down because I knew you were like married, happy, and everything. So I had this question that would be like the one that's not ticked. Just read it.
Yeah.
Just read it on the mic.
So the question is, what do you think of the growing number of single moms in current society? That's something I've noticed in Kenya.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's
especially like in Kenya, it's just like the numbers are just like, and it's turning into a thing.
But everyone thinks it's normal. Like everyone knows a single mom here, and it's just how it is. Like
it's not right. It's not normal though.
It shouldn't be. No, it shouldn't be normal.
Yeah.
I don't know why it happens a lot here. I just heard stories like the single moms that I know, they were with someone who was already in a relationship or things like that, or the guy just was not interested in having a kid with that woman in particular and just left. So I find it sad, but then at the same time, those women are the strongest women I've ever met in my life.
True.
So, I mean, it just shows how, and what I'm gonna say is
no, say it, you have to say it.
As women, we don't need men that much.
Wow.
And no, but it's
you're not the
true.
first one to say it like on the podcast, so I mean it's okay if that's how you feel.
I mean it's true. Like when I see them, they're doing so well without those guys. I'm not saying that the kids should not have a dad.
But where are we going? Because where are we going as just a generation if like that's not like a priority or need anymore? It's not bad not to need a man.
No, it's not bad.
I mean, definitely for me, I wouldn't want to be alone. I want to have a wife next to me.
Yeah, but the feeling,
even if I cheat, I'd want her to be there and forgive me. all the power couples go through these things.
Open
and they
relationship then if you cheat.
No,
you cheat.
not open. I'm just saying like I'm just saying like through thick and thin, because like how worst case scenarios appear like on mainstream, and we see these couples like going through like anything that, like even Jay-Z and Beyonce like had like a small incident that happened and everything, but just look at how they held it down, and they still, because that's part of life. I think a lot of people don't, when they're engaging with someone and they forget you're in that love bubble and forget that there's somebody who's gonna see like that relationship and like I want that as well.
Yeah.
Not with anybody else. I want it with this person. And they're gonna come in and probably like try and shake your marriage or something.
Yeah.
And that's just part of life. And a lot of people never want to address that. What happens if this happens in your marriage, like kind of thing?
Because we have expectations at the beginning of the relationship, and sometimes those expectations don't help us. They actually hurt. Yeah,
because you didn't have like your mindset to like, how do I deal with this situation if it's thrown on my direction?
Exactly, yeah. No marriage is perfect, I think. But when you're with the right person, you're ready to go through a lot more than when you're not.
And that's why you should try and make it work.
No. That's why you should take your time to find the right person.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not saying, I'm not saying there's only one person for everyone in the world. There are several people who are like good for you at a certain time in your life and with who you're going to evolve in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's all about the choice that you make at the beginning. Who are you going to be with? And not that's what's going to determine how much you're going to fight for when hard time comes.
Yeah, when the hard times come.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's just, I don't know. All the questions that I had prepped on that category was just like for all this.
You can still ask them because I was married for 4 years.
Okay, how was your experience though during marriage? Because I want to know as well, like, before, you decided to maybe, I'm guessing it looks like you're the one who decided to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're good.
Why do you have that cheeky smile?
Because you guessed, I don't know.
I know, I'm just saying, because even from how you're talking. No, I can see like it's definitely you.
Okay.
Anytime when you see like, a kid is involved and everything, the mother always wants the best for the child.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about you anymore. You're just thinking like for two people.
So it's
way
a decision
in
that
advance.
takes a lot of time to take.
Yeah.
And it's really hard, as the mother, because you are blamed, especially in my culture. So I would say Arab culture, divorce is becoming more and more of something that's accepted, but it still has this stigma on it where you're ruining your child's life, basically. And I grew up in a household where my parents were always fighting, so I didn't want that for my kid. And studies prove that a child will be fine with divorced parents that are in good term. The child would actually be better if the parents are divorced and in good term than if they are together and in bad term. So it's just a hard thing to do, and especially when you're alone going through it, it's very hard. But I would say trust your guts. And that sounds simple and stupid, but just trust your guts.
No, it's true. It's true. And even in anything in life, that feeling never lies.
Yeah.
It doesn't really lie. And okay, what happens next now? Let's say if you're heading towards the direction of joining this toxic society of single moms that is growing in Nairobi.
What's toxic is the men who are leaving. Trust me. Yes.
No.
Let's
not make it a competition now. I'm just saying, yes, they're already toxic men there. We accept that, but I'm just saying, like, okay, what next? But do you see yourself ever going back to that dating game, getting married again? Because I'm guessing life now, you have to evaluate so many things, because anybody that you bring in your life, you have to take consideration, like your daughter, will they be a good prime example of somebody you'd want to be next to my daughter? How do you choose, I
haven't thought about that, because I'm thinking I want to focus on my career, and the separation is quite fresh. It's only been like 9 months now, so
might get back together. Come on.
No, that's for sure. Yeah.
Oh wow.
The look of disappointment on your face, as if you knew.
No, I'm just like, I've had two people who've come to the podcast, and one of them was a really good friend of mine.
Okay.
And the worst part about it is that I shot their kids' first birthday thing, and you're like, if you see the video, even if you don't know her, the first thing that you'll do is cry.
Wow.
It's because you see just the love and everything, and then after a couple of months, it's no longer there. The situation is completely different, and it's so hard. And even to somebody like me, that's when it's so scary, because you're like, yo, if these people I saw that connection in them, and they seemed so happy.
Yeah, but then there's what you see and what's really going on.
True.
It's exactly like with social media, we see a lot of people's life, but then how much of it is true, and what does this picture represent? What's the percentage of that picture in that person's life? That could be just 1%, and the rest of the day is shit. You know what I mean?
True.
So for me, I went through a lot during my marriage. I had prenatal depression when I was pregnant, and then I had postnatal depression. That took a good 2 years for me to heal from that. So the marriage was very much influenced by what I was going through.
Yeah, and I hear that's the most sensitive period for.
Yeah, and what I was showing was not what I was feeling inside. So people would see us and think that we were both very happy. No one suspected that things were not going that well. So what you saw on that video is maybe not what was actually, it's not the reflection of the reality, the feelings. Everything is a lie.
Yeah,
No, but there's hope. I think there's someone out there for everyone, and or several people out there for everyone, and everyone deserves to be in a happy marriage. It's a question of choosing the right person, and then both making efforts into making it work.
Well, what do you think, like, because now this is coming from you, what do you think, like, a good marriage should entail? Because, like, you'd be in a position to say, like, you know what, because I've experienced this, I think something that's shaped in this manner, or, both parties are bringing this to the table, is what would make it easy to work with, or just, like, for it to last. What would you think your idea of, like, a good marriage?
Yes, so you were asking, now that I've experienced marriage, what would I say is the perfect kind of, or the best relationship or partner?
Yeah, or if you were to approach it again, like, let's say you were in this race and you failed the first time, you didn't finish the race.
You learn from your mistakes.
And now, like, Kenyans, we are long distance runners. We don't quit. We don't quit. Yeah. Now you want to finish this race. So how would you approach marriage again if you were to get into, like, that situation?
I think first thing first, I would make sure that I'm confident, I am happy where I am alone as an individual, and I would work on myself a lot first. Then award at the end of the year, award of the best guest, award of the funniest, award of the...
We'll figure that out.
Yeah, we should do it.
We'll figure that out.
Give them some cake. Give us some cake.
Dessert. We want another Black Forest? You want another
Can't even finish this one.
Okay, yeah. So what do you think the best marriage?
Yes, I think I was very young when I got married, and I thought I had it all figured out, and I thought I knew myself and what I wanted, but I didn't. So next time, inshallah, if there's a next time, I will make sure that I'm ready, and I'm happy where I am as an individual in my life, and I'm happy with who I am. Because if you start a relationship not being confident and having your own issues, everyone has issues, but there's some things that you need to fix before you start something with someone.
Yeah.
So that would be the first thing. Then, now I know a bit more what I expect from someone else and what I'm ready to give. So I think... am I describing the perfect candidate, or
no, just like how you'd approach it, because even it might be like, the candidate, what would you like them to bring to the table? Because
I think emotional maturity is the most important for me. Someone who's able to communicate his feelings, whether you're fighting or not fighting, just basic communication skills and understanding. Because it's good to communicate, but what's the point of communication when there's no understanding behind it, If you're not capable of listening to what the other person has to say or feels, then your communication has no point. So empathy, listening, communication, those skills that I find
looking for.
Yeah, I find that men who are older are able to provide more in terms of those skills.
Is this why all the hot chicks are just dating old people? Don't give people excuses here. Don't give people excuses
on my podcast. It's not about the money, it's about the emotional availability.
But it's true. Do you know about the Steph Curry situation?
No.
Do you know Steph Curry?
No.
He's one of the best NBA players.
Okay. No idea.
Probably like top 10 in the world. And last week, recently, the wife went to this TV show and
Oh, is it Aisha or something?
Aisha Curry.
Okay,
Haven't
I
you
heard
seen
of
the
it.
memes and everything?
I saw it on your story, but I was like,
You didn't understand?
I didn't follow the back.
Okay, he's a big NBA player, right? One of the most successful, super young and super rich. Plus, he's Christian and he's born again. And he's known to be super faithful to the wife.
Okay.
So the wife said, she went to this show and she said that, yes, he does all these things and everything. And, I see even like how other women look at him and they want to be with him, they admire him, they want him and everything. And as much as I know he comes back to me, I'd want to feel that as well. I'd want to be admired by other men. I'd want to know that, I'm still, because she's had like, I think 3 kids. But, everybody was just like, yo, come on. Like, you have everything that a woman could possibly ask for, especially like in this day and age, because you know how athletes are. They have like multiple wives, girlfriends and everything.
Yeah.
All this guy does is go play basketball, bring home money. You'd see him talk about like God, about the wife and everything. But she just seems like, she was just like, you know what, I'd want attention from, I'd want to know that other men want me. And people just went haywire. They're like, what?
No, it's understandable.
He's a millionaire. He's
It doesn't matter.
He's faithful.
It doesn't matter. What she's
What?
saying, I don't know the backstory. I don't know what she said exactly.
And
But
yeah,
I think...
can I, before you just finish that?
Yes, tell me.
And people were saying, like a lot of guys were saying, like, imagine this is Steph Curry. And some of us, like just average guys, like, yo, we're not NBA players and everything. So can you imagine for how hard it is for us to just please like a woman?
He's just a human being, even if he's Steph Curry. But I think what she's
And
saying
Steph
is
Curry is
just...
special.
I
If you
need
know
to
the
see-
NBA, like he is really, there is nobody who's been there like him. Like
Okay.
even Michael Jordan, like cheated
Oh.
like on the wife and all those. Any
Okay.
player, like there are always
I feel you.
stories evolving around.
Yeah.
But Steph is like just that one person
But
who's.
it's not because your guy is not cheating that he's giving you the attention that you need.
Mhm.
So maybe when he comes home, he doesn't look at her the way she wants him to look at her.
Because he's tired. He's been practicing and making money for the family the whole day.
I'm just trying to understand her, and I feel her. There's
What?
I completely understand what she
Please
means.
explain.
Okay, so let's say you're in a relationship, you had 3 kids, you get in a routine, now you barely do things together, or when you do them, it's just out of habits. It's almost like your husband has become your roommate. So
A rich roommate though.
forget about the money. The money is not
Okay.
giving you love.
Okay,
yeah?
true.
So there's certain things that you are lacking and you start looking for them outside. So it could be in female friendships, and that would be healthy. Not really, but it would be better than
Yeah.
cheating, yeah?
Yeah.
But then what she's saying is she's like yearning for this attention from other men. That's because she's lacking something in her marriage. And your idol, Steph, as I'm not saying he's wrong, I'm just saying he should.
Don't you dare say something bad about Steph Curry.
And she's probably in the wrong as well. Like maybe she's not providing something that he needs, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Because we
these
wouldn't
people.
know what goes on indoors. That's the thing. Again,
Exactly.
like you said, like,
I'm
you
just
wouldn't
saying
know.
it's understandable.
And that's why, like, even when we're just talking about marriage, you'd see, like, when you see them taking pictures,
Yeah.
jeez,
They look happy.
super happy.
Yeah, it's
And
suspicious.
especially, like, for Steph, he's, like, one of the role models that a lot of, like, men need. Like, in the current
Yeah.
society, we don't have that.
Someone
Look at
who's
somebody
not
like,
cheating,
yeah.
successful in terms
Successful,
of
and he's just taking care of his business as a man.
business. But that's just the basics.
Man.
And it I mean,
But he's like, what I'm saying is like he's really trying to,
yeah,
just as a guy, because look at other people. Look at like people like Donald Trump, the
Yeah.
people who have like world leaders who are like complete like assholes and
Yeah.
just doing everything that they want.
yeah.
And even at times I get to understand, like even when women saying it's just too nice, that's what they mean with Steph Curry. He's
No,
just
no,
like
no.
He's just too nice.
I don't like
He's
that
just too
mentality
perfect.
which
Yeah.
encourages bad guys to be bad guys. We
Yeah.
shouldn't encourage that. We shouldn't say, oh, girls love bad guys.
But I
That's
think
bullshit.
that's what it means.
No.
Because look at this guy. He, like, I swear you wouldn't even find Curry cussing. Even apologizes
Wow.
like when he does like everything to like, if he offends you when you're playing in the NBA, he's always fast to apologize or just like,
Okay, he seems like a great guy, but it doesn't mean that he's perfect as a husband.
But which brings me back to like, what are people like us supposed to bring to the table?
Everyone is different, huh?
Hmm?
But what I'm saying is, as a woman, you should define what you want before getting into anything serious. Because if you're not sure, then you get things that you didn't want, and then you complain that you didn't want that. But that's because you didn't define your expectations, you know?
Ken, that's a good thing that you've said. And do you think there's too much pressure to men like right now to protect and provide? And yeah, because think about it. And this has to be like, taking like into consideration, like, because like an average guy is just trying to think like how, because even now it's not even about just money anymore.
Yeah.
Because I know people who have like super rich husbands and they're super not
Unhappy.
happy. Like
Yeah.
those are friends that I know,
It's
rich
never been about
boyfriends,
the
and they're
money.
not
Yeah.
happy. Or some who have like this guy who's always like, work and work relationship, and it still seems like,
It's not enough.
it's not enough. So
Yeah.
do you think like there's just too much pressure when it comes to just men making women happy? And there's this whole independency, like even now the way you're talking, you mentioned something like it's just like you don't need a man anymore, and you said
Yeah.
it. Do you think there's just too much pressure? Because
First of all, I think the role of a man is not to make his wife happy. A woman should be able to make herself happy before she gets married.
agreed.
And-
That I agree.
And if that's what you think, then your marriage is going to be a problem, because you're going to have that responsibility on your shoulder to make your wife happy for the rest of your life when it's not your job. So that's the first thing. Now, if you want me to talk about the pressure on men, it's hard for me because I'm experiencing the pressure as a woman to do it all. So my first reflex is to say, no, but we are struggling as well on our side. I don't know how
You
it is.
shouldn't. You shouldn't. A man
Everyone-
should be there to protect and provide. Yeah. Yeah.
Every woman is different. Some women would want their husband to do it all, kind of like.
Would you want that?
No.
Somebody to protect and provide for you?
Of course, to a certain extent, but like in terms of working, I want to work. I don't want to be depending on anyone.
Well, let's say if I was your husband, you work for my company then.
I've heard that before,
And
and
then
I
I
think
just
it's
gi-
nonsense. Like, I see you at home, I don't want to see your face during the day either. Like, leave me alone, and I don't want to work for you.
And
You
when-
can work for me.
Wait, and when you come to ask for a promotion, I'll be like, no, you're not working hard enough.
Wow. So I've heard that before, and
Yeah.
I think it's nonsense. I would never settle with someone who has this mentality.
Yeah.
I need to be doing my own things, and you need to be doing your own things on your own time. Now, I get that it's harder for men nowadays because women have higher expectations than our mothers.
Yeah. Which is
And
true.
it's different expectations as well. My mom just wanted someone who would, pay the bills, and there was not even the notion of helping with the kids back then. My dad was never around to take care of us, except when we were able to play football with him. So when
They're
you
like,
reach
now I
that
can
age,
come in. Like, yeah, let's do
you
this.
can talk, you can kick a ball. Now we can play. So yeah, now it's completely different. That's why it always comes back to finding the person that's right for you, because everyone is different. You meet someone who's my age in their 20s, a woman, who would have the same mentality as my mom. And that's
True.
fine, as long as she finds a man like my dad
Yeah.
who
True.
has the same mentality as her. So don't waste your time with people who are not compatible with you,
True. If it just doesn't seem to click or work, I mean, don't
Sometimes
put
it clicks,
pressure.
but the mentalities are different.
No, that's true. And like now, like even when you think about it, like now with just the current generation, like there's almost no blueprint or script. Like everything is so unpredictable.
Yeah.
Like you might even get into something thinking that this is what you want, like you said, and then after like, a month you're like, yo.
That's where you need to
Actually-
sit and ask questions.
But see, somebody might say things that you want to hear.
Yeah, it's true.
Because they're trying to win you over. Like,
Yeah.
let's be honest. Like, you know, if I'm trying to court someone, I can't say like, you know, I have bad habits, man. Like, this is what I do. I'll just try and paint out all the good things.
Of course.
If you ask me, like, I hope you're planning to have like one kid, I'd be like, yeah.
And that's
But at the back of my head, I'm like, yo, I don't want to say I want 7 kids so that you can run away. No, I'm trying to win you over.
It's tough. That's why you have to take your time, because action speaks louder than words. So that person who will say things like, oh yeah, I wake up every morning to do this and that. If you talk to that person for a couple of months, you'll see if what she's saying is the same thing as what she's doing. But you don't have to live with the person. You don't have to do things that you're not comfortable with that person to get to know her that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's true that talking is not enough, but time is.
Time is probably, which is, I don't know, this whole marriage conversation is just like very tricky. Because relationships as it is, they're already like way too hard. Yeah. And marriage is a whole different like just
level
ball game. Yeah, it's a whole different ball game because you both have committed to this.
Yeah. It needs to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
And it's also it's not about just one person. Like in my case now I have a daughter, so there's one more person involved, and there's also the in-laws. When you marry someone, you marry their family.
Their family as well, yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot comes with it as well.
Yeah, you need to be aware.
Okay, I guess like, you know, we can always save that marriage conversation for like another podcast session.
Okay.
Where, you know, when you're, you know, maybe back happily married or, you know, married to somebody
you
else.
You gotta give me at least 5 years for that.
5 years.
5 or 10 years, yeah.
Okay, so